Quick disclaimer, this is a 21-year-old and up channel, so if you're not 21, please leave the channel now. I appreciate it. We're day 23 of flower, and man, have we had a fun couple of days. From yesterday's video to today's video, it's been crazy. So let me fill you in. Remember, we had a problem with the light, with the red light yesterday. You know, that deep red, it was turning the leaves, you know, crispying up. You know, just the plants were not liking that deep red. And then upon further inspection, not only was the plants not liking it, but we lost the fish. We lost shiner, and I believe we lost shiner. And I was contributing it to, you know, old age. Not really realizing, you know, the extent of the problem that we had until it was almost too late, but we caught it. We hope, anyway. You can tell that the creek is a whole lot cleaner today. We did basically 2 water changes yesterday, a 50-gallon, and then we waited about an hour and we did another 50-gallon. And the reason we did that is because the red, the deep far red that we had added into the Grandmasters, remember the red diodes we had up there? Those are the 2 extra channels we have, or the 2 channels. There's 4 channels. A white, kind of the gold there. You see the white, blue, you see the gold, white, and then we have the red, and then the far red. Well, once we started adding in reds, things started taking a turn for the worst. Come to find out that the far red, or deep red, kills photosynthetic algae, kills string algae, kills cyanobacteria, which produce oxygen. We basically, look at this. If I were to top this grass, it looks green on top. Let's go down to the bottom. Look at what was happening. The same thing that was all the way around. So I pulled some of this grass out, and guess what? It smells like shit. I mean, straight swamp ass. I was like, that's not good. So you can see we have a pile that's getting consumed actually right now. Look at those guys. But we pulled a lot of grass yesterday, cleaned out a lot. You can see that we lost all. You remember that algae that was blooming over here? Had all that oxygen pretty much all gone. Shrimp. Look for shrimp. You don't see any shrimp. That's because all the damn shrimp are carcasses now, and the ones that aren't carcasses ended up coming up here to where that oxygen was coming in. So I saw a lot of them up in the drop part there, that water where it comes in at. There was quite a few up there and hovering around where that oxygen was coming in, trying to get that air. But basically all we did was cut the oxygen off from the water supply. And it all started with the red light. So as soon as we lost the algae, we lost the photosynthetic properties of the algae, which was producing oxygen. Now it's no oxygen. Now the plants aren't receiving that dissolved oxygen that they need. And this is what happens. So this is a valuable lesson that we learned using these Grandmaster LEDs. You know, we can be its best friend here. I mean, the environment, but we can also be its worst enemy. And you can see that we keep a chart here. And I've had that red in there. Well, I didn't have the deep red in. I had the deep red in, what was it, a couple days? Right here, 1, 2, 3. It only took 1, 2, 3 days to do what it did. You can see right here, about 3 days ago, algae died, red light. So we have cut. Yesterday we cut the red completely. We left a little bit of the regular red, but not got rid of the deep red. Today we are getting rid of both reds and going back to 150. So this is my cool blue. This is my my cool white, warm white, red, deep red. We completely got rid of, what we're trying to do here is bring back our algae with this white light. And it should just pop right on back, start growing like it did before. What I have here, actually, I've been growing some algae, and you can see that this has been in my window seal, and it's just got sand, silt, and clay from the creek here. And I had it sitting in the window seal, and you can see the algae growing from the sun. So it's actually producing oxygen with the lid on. It's producing what it needs to survive with that light. You know, it's producing its own environment basically. That's what that algae does in the creek. It produces its own oxygen. But we need algae to do it. We need photosynthetic algae. So what I can do, and I used some pond water from outside, my pond outside, that I know has the algae in it. So we use some of that water to put back in the pond. That should cycle through, and hopefully in the next, I don't know, week, we'll be able to, I gotta put this down for a second. Put this in between my legs. So I can open this real quick. Alright. And if this had gone anaerobic, it would smell, but it doesn't smell. It smells actually fresh. It's just pond water with algae growing in it. No oxygen getting, just light. And that's the algae we're looking for. So, inoculation time. Just going to put a little bit of that algae in there. And that should inoculate a lot better. Remember that algae, we'd have to pull it out. Now there's no algae to pull out. But that also means that there's no poo being removed. So all the poo is just flowing back and forth, creating an anaerobic zone, basically allowing the nitrogen or nitrates and all that shit to build up. Like I said, I'm not talking science, but I just know that shit needs air. You hold your breath, you don't have long. All right, and the same goes for the plants. Same goes for all life. If you ain't got air, you're done. You ain't got long. And if you're not producing it somehow, you can see we got a lot of oxygen. That's coming from that lab. That's probably one of the reasons why we didn't crash as fast as we didn't crash sooner. Like, we've had that red in for a while, you know, but not the far red. The far red just really topped it off. That was just like the final straw, the nail in the coffin, so to speak. The other light was just slowly killing off my algae and slow death to everything in here, basically. If we had let it keep going the way it was going, it would have killed everything. Like, we would have completely had a complete and total crash of the system. The soil probably would have recovered just fine. The plants, you know, they were definitely feeling the stress. Look at that. You know, that's coming from them not being able to access oxygen. It's the creek that is providing that oxygen to us, especially down here in our root zone. So if we don't have oxygen in our creek, we don't have life, we don't have anything. The shrimp die, the plants die, everything dies. And that's just the way it is. So you can see that we were even on our way Look at it coming all the way up into the soil. All the way up into the soil. It was just gonna, that grass would have went yellow all the way up. It would have completely died off. And it would have went just completely bare. This whole room would have started smelling like a swamp. It would have smelled like a complete and utter catastrophe, like death. And cyanobacteria, when it dies, that's the smell you smell when you walk into a swamp. If you go to a swamp and you smell funk, you're smelling dead things, dead bacteria that produce gases that kill things. It's why nothing grows in the swamp. And that's what we got to avoid in a system like this. So as you can see, we've been kind of pulling and tugging and bending, do a little super cropping. We turn the lights down on this big girl. She is a monster. She's gonna be a monster. Look at this thing. Freaking insane. Insane. Just you can't. I can't get the camera all the way on it. It just keeps going. So look, this leaf here is getting so big that it's covering up everything. You can see we've cleaned all that out. Even my tall grass there was taking a hit. You can see the yellow one coming. So everything just started to go yellow, and when it goes yellow like that, that means we don't have air. We're not getting the nutrient we need. We're not getting all the good stuff we need. Basically, the way I see it is that I can go, a week or so without food, maybe 2 weeks. I can go, maybe a week without water, a couple days, 3, 4, 5 days without water, but I can't go 2 or 3 minutes without air. And nothing can. And that's why it happens so fast. Like literally, you shut the oxygen off, 12 hours later, you're gonna know, you're gonna see it. And that's transferring over into the plant. It's gone so long, it's transferred over into the plants now. So all the oxygen that was built up in the grasses that they were living off of, that dissolved oxygen, has been depleted, and now we're seeing it. We're seeing it in the grass. It's turning yellow. So we're going to turn that around by simply doing the water change and getting that algae back to go. That was our first water change. It's been running a year and 5 months, almost a year and 6 months now. And that's the first water change we've done. And that's because we had so much good biology going, cycling all that poo. The algae was cleaning it. I was removing the algae by hand, throwing it in the soil. All that chop and drop I did yesterday is gone. I mean, I filled all this in yesterday with chop and drop, and it's all gone. Like it's nothing, like it was nothing even there. And that's how fast this bed is cycling, so fast. Look at these things. Everything you move is just worms. If I throw down any type of mulch, gone within like 24 hours. My little aerators. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the lab, the super lab and the regular lab that I was using in the pond and the creek were definitely keeping me above water for a long time, but like I said, when I kicked that red in, it just put the nail in the coffin. We came in here yesterday and I was like, holy cow. I looked at that grass and I was like, whoa, that's not good at all. We got on the scope yesterday. Mo got our from Agro Soil. He got our soil samples. Soil samples looked pretty good. Lots of life, lots of nematodes, lots of good things. But as far as the creek and the pond, we just basically had to do a monstrous water change. And now I think we're pretty good. We haven't lost any mother fish other than Shiner, who was the oldest in here. The mollies are still kicking. Plinko's still good, although I haven't seen him in a minute. I haven't seen any other dead fish, but there's a molly. But I'm thinking it'll just take about a week or so, 4 or 5 days, and we should be back on track. Get that algae going again, and we'll see. We'll be able to look at this grass, and I know it's going to get a little bit more yellow, but we've taken the red out, so hopefully the algae starts to grow, starts to kick us back into some photosynthetic, like the purple non-sulfur bacteria. Get some new fresh lab going. And we should be good to go. A little EM1 maybe, if I could find some. But yeah, that's where we are yesterday. I didn't really get a chance to put anything on video of the water change because I was in such a panic mode, just trying to get it done. But this is now dry completely. We can get in here now and finish this. We'll finish up sealant. Looks like all the concrete is completely cured. We've etched it with muriatic acid. All we gotta do is pond shield. Then we can run some water. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Once that's done, we go get some sand, silt, and clay from the reservoir, some pea gravel, and start filling her up. We can put soil in. Once we put soil in, well, before we put soil in, we're hanging lights. The lights, Grandmaster LEDs, are on their way. They should be here hopefully by next week. What's today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah. They ship out today, I think, or tomorrow. Hopefully they'll be here by Monday, so we can get those hung next week. My plan is to definitely have this done today. We will have everything dried, cured, lights hung by next week, and then hopefully next week we'll be putting soil in, putting water in the pond. We'll cycle the system for about a week before we put fish in. But yeah, we're close. We are close. With that being said, I appreciate everybody hanging out today. Digger says, what's up? Digger said, I ain't got no problems down here. Just throw me a worm every once in a while. We don't care about no crash. Like I said, the plants are doing fine. They're going to recover just fine. It's just the creek grass. We might have to get some shrimp. Repopulate the shrimp. We've done the water change. So it's just a waiting game now. You can see our grass really took a hit though. Look at that. Grass just was like Nope, no air, no green. She'll come back. That dead grass, we'll pull that out, lay it on the soil, chop it up, and new grass will grow right in its spot. That dog fennel didn't seem to have a problem at all. So, alright, that's my rant for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.